All right. So in this video, I want to tie the concept of healthy, unhealthy cholesterol to the lifestyle tenets because it's very important to remember that any medical diagnosis always comes back to these five major components. So let's get to it. When we think about cholesterol, most of us think about healthy eating. Of course, the dietary source matters. Where you get your cholesterol from will determine if it's going to have an anti-inflammatory or inflammatory effect in your body. And we will talk about this much more in upcoming videos. The other piece is activity. So movement, sweat, heat, muscle contraction, and relaxation, all of this can be a great way to utilize the cholesterol in your body. So when our muscles need to contract and relax, when we start sweating, all of these are ways to utilize this very quick energy form. It requires very little for the body to convert cholesterol into energy. So this is an important piece to remember because activity is extremely key for the elimination of cholesterol. The other piece is, of course, fiber, which comes from healthy eating. But I always like to say, don't forget that the digestive tract is also a muscle, which means that when you make that digestive tract work, like when you consume things with fiber, that itself is activity. That itself is going to use that cholesterol. Sleep. In that first half of sleep is really when cholesterol gets metabolized. It gets broken down from its many forms into something that the body can either excrete or use for its purposes, which we will talk about. But all of this really happens in the first part of sleep. So don't forget, you may do everything correctly in terms of your activity, your dietary sources, but then if you're not getting high quality sleep, what's going to happen to that cholesterol, right? Some of you may even recognize that it's important to relate cholesterol to sleep because we take certain medications when we're going to bed, and that's to make it more effective on the cholesterol. Mental health. This is where I talk about utilization. While cholesterol is the basis of many of these vitamins in our body and functions for energy, the brain uses healthy cholesterol so well. Extremely important even in childhood, in the development of a neonate. There's so many areas that cholesterol is used, and brain health is one of those things. And so when we talk about the inflammatory or anti-inflammatory aspect of cholesterol, we actually can even relate that to the thoughts in our mind and our ability to use energy in the brain. So in mental health, we think about cholesterol for utilization, energy utilization by the brain to become efficient and to become productive. And the last category is related to abuse or addiction. One thing to keep in mind is cholesterol is a great carrier, and one of the things that it can really highly bind to is your opioid receptors, which means that when we take in healthy fats, healthy cholesterols, we try to promote good regulation in the body. When we take in unhealthy cholesterols, high saturated fat contents, for example, that can really go and bind to the opioid receptors from maybe a comfort level, experience, memory level, and all of that can lead to downstream effects, for example, keeping you going back to the same source. So even from the world of abuse or addiction or instant gratification, we need to keep that in mind in terms of the source of our cholesterol. So I hope this video helped you understand that cholesterol also ties back to all of the lifestyle factors. And when you bring in the healthiest sources of cholesterol, you get the best benefit in all of the categories. I'll see you in the next video.